Last Monday, we had Jake Paul on the show to talk about his upcoming fight and whether he would show up or not. Of course, he did. He's the man who'll be fighting Jake Paul on August 6th at the Mecca, at the world's most famous arena. The man who is looking to take down the problem child. He is the son of the former heavyweight champion of the world, 12-1 as a pro. He is the one and only Hasim Rahman Jr. He's kind enough to join us right now. There he is. What's up, my man, Hasim? How are you?
How you doing? How you doing? Thanks for having me. I appreciate you.
It's great to have you on. By the way, can I get some love for the way I say your name? I feel like a lot of people butcher your name. Hasim Rahman. You have to get the Rah in there, right?
Yeah, it's actually Hasim, like
Jesus.
a SIM card. It's Hasim Rahman Jr. Hasim Rahman Jr.
Here I am giving myself a pat on the back, and I butchered it. I was talking more about the last name, if I'm being honest, but thank you for correcting me.
Oh, good. Thank you for having me.
Hasim Rahman Jr. Okay, thank you, my friend. Okay, I want to actually start at the beginning here, all right? First time you meet Jake Paul. How does this all go down? How did you get the call to be his sparring partner for the Nate Robinson fight, right? August of 2020, correct?
It was November 2020, and I had already boxed Jake earlier that year in February. So local coach, I was training in California with Joey DeJeco, and a coach came in. He's like, I got these YouTube guys, and they're getting into boxing. They got this boxing event that they just did. It was a huge success, and I had actually already knew about that because I had trained Overflow, who fought on the undercard of the very first boxing event they did, which was an amateur fight between, I believe, DG and Jake Paul. And I'm not sure who Logan and KSI fought. Maybe they fought each other.
I think they did.
Sure.
I think they did.
Yeah, I think they fought each other. Yeah, well, coming off of that, they wanted to continue boxing. So I offered, they asked me for my help. So we sparred in February. And then he was, COVID hit, obviously, and the whole sport was pretty much on lockdown, like the rest of the country. And the Tyson Jones card was like the only thing going on. Obviously, he was on the undercard. They asked me for some help. So I came in to give him a look for a few rounds.
And so when you're there, I mean, that footage we saw like 45 seconds, but when you're there, are you guys cool? Are you friendly? Are you cordial? Like, what do you make of him? What are you telling your friends about him?
The first time we boxed, it was cool. We were cool. Everything was good. He was a little Hollywood, but when people have that type of following and stuff, they tend to be that way. So that's fine. The second time, again, we was cool up until like the very end of the sparring, and he gets to like he jumps on top of the turnbuckle, and he's like, "Oh," and still, and just being like really, really like basically like a amateur asshole. So I'm like, I tried to tell him like, "Yo, come here," and that's what you see in the video. I'm like, "Come here." And then I was gonna tell him like, "Yo, in boxing, you know what I'm saying, this don't count. Like the sparring don't count." But to Jake, sparring's like a fight because obviously he has no amateur experience. So if he's doing well against a professional, he's thinking, "Oh, I could really do this and really do this to this guy." These are like sparring sessions are like Jake's fights. So I was just trying to, humble him a little bit and tell him like, like I'm in here handicapped, bro. Like I literally, when you watch it back, you'll see I rarely use my right hand, and I'm only giving you one hand, and I'm only staying one way. Like it's not what you hyping it up to be. On top of that, he has 3-4 cameras rolling, and when you're the person on camera, and that I know how Jake Paul gets down, I know he's going to chop it up and edit it the way he did, and make it look like the way he did. So that's what you see where I was upset in the video. It was like, "Now you being disrespectful now. I know what this is about. I know how you're gonna try to make it look." It had nothing to do with the actual boxing, with the sparring session. It was just his disrespect for the sport and for what we were doing. I came to give you a look. I didn't come to beat you up or to see if you were even on my level or if you were ready for this level. I actually was asked by your coaches not to knock you out. So this is it. I was told that if you knock them out, you're most likely not going to get paid.
Wow.
At the time, like I said, it was during the pandemic. I'm getting $100 a round. This is just easy work sparring for me. So it was definitely something I didn't want to throw away. But at the same time, you're not going to disrespect me and disrespect the sport.
Was that the last time you sparred him?
Yeah, that was the last time we sparred.
Was that the last time you've been around him prior to all of this?
We were around each other for the Tyson Jones event a little bit, but not so much. So yeah, that was pretty much the last time we've been around each other until the press conference.
Right. And did you he's out there, he beats Nate, he beats Tyron, but like, are you in contact with him, or are you kind of on separate paths after all of this? Like, did you guys stay in touch?
No, we on separate paths, but I was actually the first person in boxing for anyone to give Jake his props. I was like, nah, he can fight, because a lot of people, when they try to get into boxing, they'll take a punch and then they'll just be like, oh, nah, this ain't for me. And I seen that, Jake, he took a punch, took a good shot, and he kept coming. He's like, okay, let's go. He's a tough kid. He's a tough guy, and he works very hard. And I gave him his props for that. But other than that, no, we didn't have no contact, no type of, it's not no friendship going on or nothing like that. They paid me to work. I came to work, and he ruined that by jumping on turnbuckles and counting rounds and just coming out his neck sideways. So it was an experience for me, but I don't deal with people like that.
And just to be clear, for those that may not know, when you say that you're going in there to give him a look, like his coaches are telling you, hey, Hasim, like, don't do this, don't do that, don't use your right hand. Like they're trying to set him up to be prepared for his upcoming fight, and you're just out there. You're not trying to beat him or do anything to mess up his upcoming fight, right? Like you're not going at 100%. Is that fair to say?
That is exactly what it is. I mean, I'm literally, boxing is a two-hand sport. I'm literally only using my left hand, and I'm handicapped, meaning that I can't use one of my best weapons, which is to switch up. I switch. If you watch my fights, you'll see I switch. I can't switch stances. I got to stay in one stance. If he does wind up showing a clip of me switching to southpaw, it's literally in the last 30 seconds of the last round, where, who's going to say something at that point? It's like, all right, I'm going to switch for the very last 30 seconds. But I didn't really even throw anything to have him miss. I just gave him that look just to see what he would do. August 6th is going to be completely different. It's holding nothing back. I'm going to be punching him hard. I'm going to hit him as hard as I can hit him. And I'm going to be hitting him with both hands. I think he's bit off a lot more than he can chew. He's in trouble.
So then around a month ago, we find out he's going to fight Tommy Fury August 6th. Then we find out Tommy can't enter the country. And then there's like a 2-week period there where we don't know what's going to happen. What happens with you? How do you get the call? Who tells you? How does the offer come through? What went down?
So what happened was, it was a little shady. They called me, his coach called me, and he's asking me, how much I weigh, how I'm feeling about my last fight, what I've been doing in the gym, and how much I've been sparring, and all these questionnaires, just checking off. But he was asking me under the pretense that I would come in and spar Jake as a southpaw for Anderson Silva. Literally an hour after they inquired me, I'm thinking they about to call me back and get me on a flight to Puerto Rico to help him out for Anderson Silva. An hour later, I get a call saying that, they want to fight. So all those questions were really trying to line me up to fight me. It was never like a sparring situation. It was a fight. They wanted to see where I was for the fight.
Were you shocked?
Where I was at.
When you got that offer, were you shocked?
I was, because, these were people that I've known since I've been a teenager. People that I've given good work to. But, you can't put anything past anybody in this business. So it's like, it was a dirty move, but hey, I'm gonna make them regret that. I'm gonna make them regret that on August 6th. He's gonna get fired.
Do you think that they ultimately chose you because of the quote unquote work that you gave them like 2 years ago, that they think that this is the same guy?
I know that they know that they asked me to take it easy on this man. They asked me like, because I'm not the only person that they asked. It's like, please don't knock this guy out. Just whatever you do, just don't knock him out. He's an asshole. He's gonna do this, and just don't knock him out. As well as I think that a major part of me getting the fight was my last fight, where I was stopped by Kenzie Morrison. I think that they believe that they can do the same thing Kenzie did, but Jake's not nowhere near on the level of a professional that's 20-0 with 18 knockouts. Been doing this. He's been a pro for 7 years now. He's 6'4", 235 in the ring. He's completely different fight than who I'm fighting on August 6th. This is gonna be a massacre on August 6th. I can't wait.
When we had Jake on the show last Monday, as I think you may have seen, he said that he wasn't sure if you were going to show up to the presser, that you were asking for more money. How much truth was there to any of that?
None. Jake says a lot of things. Jake says a lot of things that aren't true. And as you can see at the presser, I thought we was gonna have more time so I could get to picking out all these untrue things that he says. He just likes to open his mouth and just blabble out what he thinks people want to hear, or things for content reasons or to catch headlines. There was never a request for me for more money. I knew coming into the fight how much money I was making. I never said anything about getting more pay or anything like that. So when I actually was getting my hair retwisted while you guys were on the show, and it popped up, and I'm watching it, and All Access has this on video where I'm completely surprised, and I'm like, what is he talking about? Your interview ends. I call his team like, yo, what's going on? Why are they saying I'm asking for this and asking for that? I'm not. Tell them that I'm not. I'm taking everything. I'm going to be at the press conference tomorrow. And I'm literally telling his team this in front of the All Access cameras so that it can expose this man for the fraud he is. I just think he's a fake. He's a phony. He got a lot of fake and phony stuff about him. He is a real fighter. I do respect him as such, and that's why I'm taking this fight so serious.
So are you impressed with how far he's come? Like, you sparred him before the Nate fight. Since then, he beats Ben Askren, he beats Tyron Woodley twice, he gets the knockout. There are some people who wouldn't even say what you just said about him being a real fighter and all that. Are you impressed? Has he exceeded your expectations as a fighter?
I knew he could fight from the first time we boxed. And he told me, he had a background in wrestling and from in high school and stuff like that. So he's an athlete. And then he has this huge following, and he has pretty much the money that he needs to train at his dispense, and he can pretty much do what he wants, train where he wants. I'm not. I wouldn't say impressed. I wouldn't say surprised, but this is what can happen if you have endless amount of material or I can't find the word I'm looking for. If you have everything that it takes to do
Resources,
what you
right?
need to do, there you go. Yeah, resources. If you have a endless amount of resources to do everything you need to do, and you pick all your fights, and you can pick exactly who you want to fight. It wouldn't be out of the realms for Logan or KSI or anyone who had that type of following to be where he is right now. I mean, he's just the first to do it. I don't think that it's something just spectacular that anybody couldn't do. If I could take 5 amateurs that are in the USA boxing system right now, and they'll look 2-3 times better than Jake if they had the resources that he had.
Biggest payday of your career?
Yes.
So this is a good opportunity for you. I mean, you recognize you beat the Madison Square Garden Showtime pay-per-view headliner. You're coming off your first loss. Like usually this type of stuff doesn't happen. So it seems like you recognize how big of a deal this is. And now here you have a situation where historically, what's the lightest you've weighed at as a pro in your 13 fights?
Like 211, 211 and a quarter.
The weight limit is 200, right? On Friday, August 5th, you have to weigh 200, right? My understanding is, I want to get your take on the rehydration. By noon the next day, you have to weigh in again, and you could weigh as high as 214. And then if you make 214, then you could weigh whatever you want come fight night, which would be around like 11 or so hours later. Is that what you understand as well?
I don't know about 11 hours. I think it's noon, and then I believe we'll be in the ring before 9 p.m. I think they said we'll be 9:30 between 9.
Oh, that early, huh? All right, but is the 214 and all that correct?
Yeah, that's all correct. But I am being found after 4 ounces. After 4 ounces for every pound that I would be over, I'm fined 25% of my purse.
Whoa!
So
what?
Yeah.
Whoa.
See, they leave a lot of stuff out. They leave a lot of stuff out when you're dealing with Jake Paul and his antics. So, for example, if I was to come in 202 at the weigh-in and then come in 216 for the rehydration weigh-in, then I would get the minimum, which is I think $5,000. I would get just the minimum, and that's only because of 2 pounds. So they are that scared that they want to put that much pressure on me to make the weight to say you're going to lose 25% for every pound you're over. So if you come in 204, you're going to get the bare minimum, which is $5,000. They capped it at $5,000. So it's a lot that goes into these fights. And another thing that I wasn't able to get across at the press conference is when they offered me this fight, this was, listen, Jake Paul has said, if you don't take it now, he'll never fight you. He'll never fight you. If you don't take this, you'll never get this opportunity again. So I'm like, okay, all right, everybody in boxing wants to fight this guy. I'm like, you know what? Let me weigh my options. Give me like 2-3 hours and I'll call you guys back. No, you have to respond within 45 minutes before the top of the hour, or the offer's off the deal, and you'll never, ever get a chance to fight Jake Paul again. Mind you, this is the biggest opportunity in my life. It's not something you can, you know what I'm saying, take lightly. So, I said, okay, all these cards stacked against me. I know I believe in myself. I'm going to beat this kid. I'm going to beat this kid up. And I just use everything that's against me as motivation. The weight, the rehydration, the you'll never get this opportunity again. He will not fight. He will not give you another chance to get a fight with him again if you don't take it right now. You're gonna save the show. The show is all dependent on you and what you say. And no, you can't have time. I couldn't have time to call my doctor, call my dad, call anybody. All I really could do was call my dad. I didn't get time to call around and see, what was my best options here. I had absolutely no negotiation, and that's how they gave it. They said, take it or leave it. And if you leave it, you'll never get this chance again. Whereas where he's fighting Tommy Fury, you got him bragging. We gave Tommy extra tickets. We gave him extra rooms. We gave him extra this, extra that, extra money. But you turn around and give me a offer where there's no negotiation and you're not getting nothing extra. You get 0% of the pay-per-view. You get nothing. And if you leave it, then you'll never get this opportunity again. He will never fight you again. So, like I said, he's a fake, he's a phony, he's a fraud. He wants to make it seem like he's fighting this big heavyweight when we really you're fighting a cruiserweight. We're fighting that cruiserweight. And, he don't put out there all the things that was on the table. The 25% for every pound, the take it or leave it or you'll never get to fight Jake Paul again. The you have less than an hour to answer, or the deal's off the table. They don't put any of those things out there.
Are you worried about the weight? Are you worried about making 200?
I'm not worried.
You're not?
I ain't worried about nothing.
All right.
I ain't worried about nothing.
All right.
I'm good already. I'm good. I think that, you know, I have the best team around me that I could have assembled. And the nutritionist has done a great job. My dad's doing a great job in the gym. My strength and conditioning is going amazing. And, you know, spiritually, I'm at a level where I feel like this is my time. This is my chance. And the world will know who I am by the end of August 6th. I think that the work that I put in and the work that I'm putting in is more than sufficient to get the job done. I don't think that he can match me. I don't think he can match me skill for skill. His only hope is that I get tired or I fatigue in some way, and then he lands a big punch. But I don't think he's going to be able to keep standing after I'm going to put these paws on him. And I don't think Jake's been in this amount of pain yet in the boxing ring.
He posted a video earlier today. I don't know if you saw it, about his back hurting and that he's he's in a lot of pain because he continues to have to carry the promotion, that his opponents don't do anything. And obviously you're the next one up there. I'm not sure if you saw it or not, but do you feel like you need to ramp things up? You know, he's such a great promoter, right? He's a I mean, like a content creator, as you referred to him as. Did you see this, and do you feel like you need to dial it up a notch or two?
No, I seen it, but I don't see, like, what does he want me to do? I'm not about to buy my followers like he did. I'm not about to put out, BS content. I'm real. People in the boxing game know me. They know I'm real. They know I keep it real. And I'm not stupid to his level with no games. I don't have to make no fake videos to sell a fight. I'm a real fighter. And when I get there on August 6th, that's what people want to see. They want to see him versus a real fighter. So that's my job. August 6th, I don't care how many pay-per-views it sells, because I'm getting 0% of the pay-per-views anyway. So what am I helping you? What am I helping you ramp up the pay-per-views for? When y'all sent me the contract and said I get 0% of the pay-per-view. So how is it my job to help you sell the fight? You wanted 100% of the pay-per-view, so you sell 100%. Do your thing. Keep buying followers. Keep putting this facade out there like you're just this big deal. He's gonna have a boatload of excuses come August 6th, and I'm just gonna have I'm gonna take everything he's got going on. It's gonna ride over to my way like it should have been, and I feel like this is just the catapult that I needed in my career to get to a world title. So, inshallah, I'm going to be there on August 6th, and I'm going to have my hand raised.
It's interesting because, when he fought Nate, he's just a basketball player. When he fought Askren, he's a washed up MMA fighter who can't strike. Woodley, washed up, didn't give him credit for the first one. Second one, they said it was rigged. I don't know how anyone could rig that. It was 100% not rigged. I was sitting ringside. And now, I don't know if you saw Dana White, UFC president. He's like, why isn't he fighting Morrison? That's the guy who won. Why is he picking the guy who lost? Now I feel like everyone wanted to see him fight a boxer, pro boxer, with your experience, around the same age. And now they're saying, but you're coming off a loss, which is a ludicrous statement. People lose all the time. Who cares? But now you see these comments, and do they annoy you?
They don't annoy me. It's just I like to see the look on people's faces afterwards. Dana White's not the only person. There's a few people I can't wait to see their face after I punish this kid, because they know better. Tim Bradley, Eddie Hearn, Dana White, just to name a few. Their faces are gonna be like, man, I knew it. But that's not what you said. So stand on what you say. I want everybody to stand on what they say after I punish this kid who has been in the ring 6 times. He's heard that bell ring for a fight 6 times. And it's mind baffling to me how they give him, they saying he gonna knock me out.
He's the favorite, by the way. Do you know this? He's like,
that's fine. I don't gamble. I'm not really a betting person. So I don't care about who's the favorite or who they think's gonna win or whatever. I know that comes because I lost my last fight. My last fight, I immediately took my opponent lightly. I didn't think Kinsey was as good as he was. And I think that if I hadn't, we would have had a different result.
Your confidence okay? I mean, anytime you lose your first pro fight, sometimes the confidence is shaken. How would you describe your confidence going into this one?
You know, after that fight, you could see I was protesting the stoppage from the time the referee called it off. I've had I feel the same way I felt when I got out the ring. I'm fine. I've been waiting to get back in the ring ever since. I couldn't wait. There's not a doubt in my mind that I'm going to come out on top on August 6th. I don't have any regrets or anything about April 29th. What happened back then? What happened. It's behind me, and it set me on a path to get here. So if I would have won that fight, there's no way Jake would be trying to fight me. There's no way. And that's proof in the pudding because Kinsey was brought to the table before me for him. And obviously they didn't want to fight Kinsey. They wanted to fight me. Me and Kinsey weighed the exact same on our weigh-in for our fight. So that just goes to show you what he's looking for. Like I said, he's a fake, he's a phony.
By the way, in total, do you know how many fights you've had, amateur and pro? Do you know what the number is?
I don't know for sure. Is
the 100 amateur fight thing, is that legit?
It's somewhere close to there. If it wasn't 100, it was definitely over at 80, 85. It was close to 100. I was getting close to 100, but I went to prison, and I did 3 years in prison pretty much, and that kind of negates all not the experience, but the conditioning that I had from my amateur background. I had to sit down for 3 years. That's why I blew up from cruiserweight, which I was fighting at in the amateurs. I was fighting at 201 and went all the way to 250 by the time I came home.
Oh, wow. Do you mind if I ask why you went to prison?
I got into a car accident. I was driving with some friends. I wasn't drunk. Wasn't a DUI, anything like that. It was a reckless driving accident. The situation was a situation. I had people in my car, and we got into an accident, and the other driver ultimately lost his life.
Oh,
so I had to go and pay my debt to the society for being the driver. So, and I did that, and I never cried about it. Never PC'd or none of that. I went and walked the real yard. I went and did my time on the front lines. So that's another thing Jake can't do. Jake's a PC guy. He's not this. He's not me. He's not better than me.
And when did you get out?
December 21st, 2016.
Okay, so it's been 6 years and all good. No trouble since then.
Yeah. No, I'm good. No, I'm not a trouble person. I'm a fighter.
Yeah.
All I do is fight. I turned pro April 2017, so I went and got with straight into the gym and been chasing this ever since. Now, when I turned pro, I was told, because of my lawsuit with Mayweather, that I was being done no favors by the major networks that he was aligned with, and with him being aligned with Al Heyman, it pretty much wiped me and my brother off the board. But we fought through it. We keep fighting, and now we Showtime headline pay-per-view. Even though they said we were going to be blackballed, or we were going to be blacklisted in the game, and nobody would want to do business with us. But we kept our head down and just kept working, and now we're on the biggest stage in boxing. So here I can go ahead and write history for myself now. Now the ball is 100% not only in my court, but it's in my hands.
And by the way, what were you aligned with Mayweather, and then you guys broke up?
No, there was a lawsuit behind a All Access episode where there was some things that happened, and my brother and I had a lawsuit against Floyd, and we pretty much we settled. The lawsuit was settled. There was a settlement, and because of that, we were told that Floyd had excommunicated his entire team from us. They weren't allowed to follow us. They weren't allowed to talk to us, be seen with us in public, anything of the sort. And the same thing goes on for the big dogs in boxing. There's no favorites for the Rockets. So we knew coming into this turning pro that we were going to have a hard road. But this is us. This is us turning the tables on everybody that tried to make it hard for us, that tried to keep us out the game.
Last thing, what's your official prediction? How do you think it ends on August 6th?
I'm doing this fight not only for myself and my family, but for all the Muslims across the world. So, like I said before, I can plan, Jake can plan, his team can plan, and my team can plan, but Allah is the best at planning. So whatever his outcome is, that's what it's going to be. It could be a knockout. It could be a decision. I can make him quit. All I know is when I step foot in that ring on August 6th, I'm going to be putting my best effort forth. And I think that my best effort is much, much better than anything that Jake Paul can produce. So I just would say my final prediction is victory, inshallah.
And we're not doing any Instagram handle bet thingy, none of that?
You seen what happened at the press conference, man. I'm not going for none of that. I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. He's that's what he gets off on, and I'm not here to entertain him. I'm here to beat him up. So on August 6th, I'm gonna whoop his ass.
Well, I can't wait, man. I thought you did a fantastic job with the presser. That's not an easy thing to do. Well done. It's kind of wild to be even talking to you. I was watching live when your dad knocked out Lennox Lewis 2001. I remember at HBO South Africa in the middle of the night, and to see him there with you was a really, really cool scene. I'm honored to be a part of the broadcast team as well. So thank you so much for the time. Thank you for coming on, and I'll see you in August. I think we'll be doing a face-to-face. That should be an interesting one as well.
Yes, it should.
And good luck in training, my man, and can't wait for it. 3 weeks away. It's going to be great.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. Talk to you soon. There he is, Hasim Rahman Jr.,